decided to do this so I could talk about music more than I already do.
And there's just not enough musical opinions on the internet right now. So this isn't going to be a catch-all, one-stop album review covering all music and albums of all styles that came out recently. Just shit I like and shit I've been listening to, and whatever else I want to talk about. That's about it. The single from last week I really, really loved was the new Sanguisugabogg single. What's the name of it? Repulsive Demise. It's the third single off their upcoming album. I love the first two singles a ton. I felt like all the singles were a huge leap forward for this band. I thought they were like one of the best resurgence of the 90s slam internal bleeding thing. There's like a lot of bad bands in this genre, but they really, really stick out as one of the best just in riffs and songwriting and massive steez and hilarious sense of humor. Awesome logo. Good memes floating around with that logo. The new single was really, really good. Had a real industrial sort of Godflesh type feel to it. Lots of electronic drums, cool, weird samples, atmospheric, awesome gargling urine vocals in their usual style. Super putrid, super nasty. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of my favorite albums of the year to come out. I'm stoked to hear the rest of it. This band's amazing live as well. Really, really fun. And they like to eat barbecue a lot too. Alright, the second album I liked last week, I can't remember if it came out, maybe it's a couple weeks old, is the new Sects album. I think it's their first album in something like 7 years. I thought this album was a major, major upgrade too. I've always been a fan of this band, seen them a couple times. Saw them the first time in Oklahoma City at an art museum show that my friend booked, and of course they fogged it out, and fire department got called, and you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. It was fucking awesome. But yeah, the new album's more of a continuation of what they've always done. Super powerful drum machines, grating synth, grating noise, harsh wall of sound, samples, slicing and dicing. But I thought the vocals are what really, really made this album stand apart from their others. It's like stacked with a lot of singing melodies, lots of choruses, lots of actual distinguishable, repetitious parts you could even maybe sing along to. Yeah, the vocal prowess is just at an all-time high. Parts of it kind of remind me of the Attack of Nick Cave and Birthday Party era type stuff, but it's just its own thing. This one will probably also make my top 10 this year, depending on how the rest of the year pans out. This album has some hilarious song titles, like The Glass Shit House, Love Makes You Fat. It's a great one. Yeah, the songs are really, really great, but it is pretty exhausting and maybe not something I could listen to every single day. But they definitely achieved a new feat with this one. They're on tour with Youth Code and King Yosef and Insula Iscariot right now. So go see that if it hasn't passed through your town or if that tour is not already over. Alright, the third album I listened to a lot last week, of course, was the new King Yosef album, Spire of Fear. The Yosef homies have been our friends for a long time. I did like a 3-week tour with them a couple years ago. They were also on an Australian tour I did playing guitar with Greg Picciotto. Yeah, the new album just continues into Yosef legacy with just awesome, brutal production, super aggressive vocals, just right on the nose. Yeah, signature style, heavy crushing samples, heavy as fuck guitars. Lots of live drums mixed with electronic drums, crazy high-pass, low-pass filters, production's just at an all-time high, vocals at an all-time high. The songs are a bit breakdown heavy and kind of lack a little dynamic at times, but hard to have a complaint when it hits this hard. The more melodic songs were actually kind of more of my favorite songs from the album. I really like the more singing, almost kind of like trap style industrial stuff happening on it. Yeah, the production is what really impressed me and what continues to always impress me about Yosef's material. Go Team Yosef. Oh yeah, the other cool thing of the week is I got my annual Stringjoy box from Stringjoy, the only company I'm endorsed by. If you haven't fucked with Stringjoy strings, these are the ones to use. I use all different types. This isn't even a paid video. They don't even know I'm doing this. I don't even know if this will get on the internet. But they send me lots of strings, and I use them all at every single show. Oh, what else? Black Magnet played with Wargasm in Denton, Texas last week. It was a really, really good show. Almost sold out, especially good for the day after Labor Day. It was like a Tuesday. It was our first time playing in Denton. And yeah, it went really well. Wargasm crew was fucking awesome, and we ended up hanging out and drinking Tall Boy canned Dos Equis, which I'd never had before. Yeah, that show rolled. What else from last week? Oh yeah, I was super hungover the next day driving home, and my dad calls me just sounding like cracked out of his mind and just super happy and excited and positive. And he starts telling me that he's wearing nicotine patches and that it's a part of some, I don't know, I assume some QAnon boomer health kick that's floating around the internet. But yeah, he just sounded cracked out of his mind and kept telling me information, true or false, about nicotine patches. And I told him, yeah, this is why cigarettes rule. All right, without lying, what do we all think about the new Deftones record? I definitely thought it was not a bad record for a new album from a legacy band that I obviously love. Hard to even talk bad about it because there's so many bad legacy bands making new albums that are just fucking horrible. But yeah, definitely wasn't too bad of an album. I thought it was a little boring. It's just kind of in the middle. I'm glad they made it. Wouldn't have missed it if they didn't make it. Not upset by it, not excited about it. There's one song that I thought the vocals really sound like At the Drive-In, which was kind of like a unique approach. It's like a really fast, almost spoken word, poetic, vocal-driven type thing, but done obviously by Chino, but kind of in a At the Drive-In style way. It was kind of unique. Yeah, a very okay album. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, Destroyer had to take a break from playing. Mike, our guitar player, got in a crazy mountain bike accident where he dislocated his shoulder and I think got a concussion. Had to have CAT scans. I don't think he has to have surgery, but he got completely fucked up and can't pick up a guitar for something like 2 to 3 months. So that band's kind of unfortunately on hold, but we have a bunch of new stuff written that's ready to rip as soon as he's healed up. What else? Black Magnet is gonna do like a 3-week tour with Author and Punisher and King Yosef starting in February. That just got announced. It's mostly Midwest, East Coast, and the South. Gonna be playing lots of new songs on that one. That's all.